Hello, everyone. Uh, just starting this broadcast. I'm just checking it. Okay, so I want to start. Did everyone see the news? That was a horrible massacre. I've been having nightmares about something happening in Cleveland, Ohio area, but I did not see anything for Las Vegas. That was horrible. But I'm doing this video on Obeah. Um, so I just want to start this by explaining the way that Obeah works, and just like in Santeria, Candomblé, whatever, they have their own deities that they work with. Um, so they also it's mainly a worship of ancestral spirits, but there's other spirits involved also. Okay, so I just want to go through them really quickly, all of them. There's animal spirits, archangels, black angels, blood angels, and jumpers. There's bone spirits, animals, for Papa and Mama, there's Mama and Bridget, Death or Mr. Bones. There's the devil. There's diggers. Then there's a spirit called Johnny, or John. There's Jumpy and Dumpy. There's King Snake, Grand Snake, and Grand Zombie. Lee Grand Zombie. There's Mama Raccoon. There's Mami or La Siren, Mamam Siren, or Mami. Uh, there's Manito, which is the supreme god. There's moon children, Nadia or Nedler or Nessa, or unquiet spirit. There's Papa Raccoon. Uh, there's a Rasta. There's seven African powers, Sun Children, Swamp Queen, Mama Gator, Tall Man, or Moko Jumbi. There's vampires, and then there's a hierarchy of spirits. There's a supreme god. There's witness deities. There's angels, fire cosmic deities, elemental deities, planetary forces, life guardians, and animal spirits, ancestral or dead spirits that are just of the dead. Then there's altered dimensional beings. There's gardener beings, predatory beings, and persons. Alright, so I'm going to go into a little bit of depth of every single one of those deities right now. But what I want to turn to uh, Obeah, Obeah, and what it is like in Jamaica, and they call it tying or binding, here in the United States or everywhere around the world. Okay, so tying, binding. Um, it's a horrible thing to do to anyone. It also interferes with destiny of both the person performing the obeah and the person that's having the obeah done to them. Um, so if the victim of this juju is normally very gentle, his spirit may submit to the binding, and once it has, the person will be a little bit like irritated. So, okay. What are the signs of someone that's had obeah done to them? Alright, alright. No contact or limited contact with family. That's one of the first signs. No matter what the spouse, the one who did the tying does, he or she is not faulted for it. Like, they'll never be faulted for anything that goes wrong. Like, the person who has had it done will always take the blame. Um, alright, so the victim becomes like a zombie and is no longer to act on their own free will in terms of relationship. If the person who has the time done uh, breaks it, what I'm trying to say, literally, the person becomes like a little child. Like, alright, so Alright. So basically, when anyone has Obeah done to them, they can get whatever the person's request of who's doing it done. Um, you can have the person do anything. Today, when I think that the guy had some Obeah done to him to kill all these people at that Mexican concert or country concert, whatever it was. Um, okay, so, but a little bit more explanation of how the religion works and how this works. In the diaspora system, one may venerate their own ancestors as well as others. Marie Laveau is commonly has an appearance in hoodoo and voodoo, and even in some Obeah practitioners' altars. If they're very powerful here on Earth, they'll have some, worship, obviously. And what is the ancestors called? They're called egungun, okay? And normally there's an egungun stick given also whenever you work with them. All right, so then we have the animal spirits. Every animal, including man, has a spirit who's in charge of them. Where I've heard this so many times. Even crystals have names that you're supposed to have an apparition of what the crystal's name is if you have crystals and work with crystals. All right, so when the spirit animal makes his presence to you, it represents the both the ideal and the baser side of a particular creature. So the creature that appears to you will have like a a similarity between who you are. Okay. For instance, humans and chimpanzees share connections to Papa Ape. Like that's just like, or some can share a connection to Papa Snake. Um, all right. Sometimes animal spirits will take on a human or semi-human form or speak with a human voice in order to relate to mankind. Uh, to relate also a person's message or general mischief. So, like, hello, like, if you watch Harry Potter, when Harry hears the snake saying, "Kill, kill, kill," like, in that snaky voice, whatever and everyone has their own animal spirit, or from like a familiar. Okay, then there's the archangels, which I hope everyone in some way or another tried to work with them this week, because on the 29th it was all the archangels day: Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael. But there are also archangels in Obeah. Okay, then moving on a little, there are black angels, blood angels, and jumpers. So what are they? They are restless spirits of children who have been killed due to horrors of slavery. They can be angry or take out their anger on people for many generations because they are frustrated and afraid to go back to the ancestors, because it would mean being reborn into this world. Sometimes they will be almost convinced, uh, and then as a trial or to be purposely cruel, inhabit the body of a child when a woman is pregnant, and then leave, causing her to miscarry repeatedly, or causing a miscarriage. So this would be something that you need to have a close eye, like to know what's going on, to recognize what spirits are working. Because they did not go to the ancestors, they are still angry and carry that pain. To stop the repeated miscarriages and stillbirths, the ghost children must be convinced to go to the ancestors or to the parents of whoever birthed them, um, and that's how you get rid of them. They can also cause disabilities like, okay, so Um, and they can in Santeria like the Abiku, that's what you can relate them to. Okay, uh, which Obatala is in charge of. All right, so then there's the bone spirits, closely related to the main animal spirits. These are the spirits of the individuals whose bones and other parts are being used for divination or mystical purposes. It's important to gain the consent of the animal or an individual before using these parts to appease Mama and Papa, which is literally some of the spirits in Obeah are just like there's Mama and Papa, and that's how they. I'm gonna explain more. Um, okay, so basically, if you don't get permission to use these bones, like you can die. That's like literally, you know. Okay, so now in this religion there's also, and in this occult practice, there's Miss Bridget, Mama Bridget. Basically, I have made videos already about her. She takes her black rooster. She's a little cruel with her mouth, and she uses a she curses and stuff. And all right, she's very powerful. Then there's Death or Mr. Bones. Everyone who walks the path of Bones is gonna meet him at one point in their life, uh, and have an appointment with him. Basically, um, and one of the simplest things that he takes is clean water. So, all right. Then there's the devil. Basically, how Yeshua and the trickster combined with Yeshua tragedy is perceived. Depending on who you ask, it could consist of he, depending on who you there's also Beelzebub has a place in Obeah also. Okay. Then there's Johnny or John, which is a name for an issue, and he's a trickster. And he's the trickster who always outwits his master. Jumpy or dumpy is a Caribbean term that's used for ghosts and ancestors, or demons, depending on who you ask. King Snake, Grand Snake, and Le Grand Snake, yeah. He is able to strike enemies from a long distance because he's all of the sky. He's often called upon to grant wishes, or to gain justice when someone wants to flee from punishment. Mama Raccoon, she's similar in Santeria to Oba. You know, Oba cut her ear off and put it in the soup to please Chang'o. Like, um, so she is a deity guardian of marriages, female fidelity, and she is a protective spirit for motherhood. And some of her colors are pink and gray. Okay. We have La Siren, basically Yemaya, but also residing in the fresh waters. And I'm gonna make a video explaining that in 21 divisions, there's many characteristics of Yemaya. Like there's Yemaya del Sur, Yemaya del Norte, like, but anyways, this is not 21 divisions, obviously, this is something else. Then we have the Nettler, the unquiet spirit, who disturbs people when they're working. She or he sometimes is called upon in love spells to cause a person not able to rest until they come to the other person's feet. Then we have the Papa Raccoon, who's similar to Shango, with his sexual and motivated aggressions. He's called upon to keep people away from one's wife or girlfriend. Um, and basically, one of his symbols is the penis. Um, so then we have the Rasta, which is an incubus, similar to an unquiet spirit. He brutally rapes people in their dreams. He's usually called on in cases of false rape accusations. If someone has been falsely accused, they can work with the Rasta to torture the woman or the man who accused them of their false accusations. Okay, and then we have the seven African powers, which make almost 10%, 20 of voodoo. The seven African powers, okay, Eshu, Obatala, Yemaya, Ogun, Shango, Oshun, and Oya. Um, there that works with ancestors also. Then the sun children, which are semi-spirit beings who are children of the sun, they die and are reborn every solar year or summer solstice. So, all right. Then we have the swamp queen or mama gator, which is the mother of all alligators, like some of the orishas of the swamp, which are hardly heard of. They come, their appearance is of a giant gator, someone who or she can appear, this spirit can also appear as a swamp witch, beautiful and young, normally wet also. She will must be appeased uh, to allow luck. She can bring upon luck. But she can also make someone get lost in the swamp or Everglades. Normally, if you get bitten by a snake, it could be cause of her. Uh, but she can also help you navigate and survive a horrible instance. Okay, in Santeria, she can be closely related to Oshun Ibu Ana, um, or Nana Boruku. Okay, then we have the tall man or the Mukujumbi, which is a spirit who manifests as a giant or extremely tall person. Um, he's malevolent towards humans, and he's also the protector of the forest. And then we have, of course, us vampires, which are spirits who feed on blood. So yes. Um, So if and these vampire spirits inside Obeah can become very angry if they don't have blood. Uh, and then what happens if they don't receive a sacrifice is that they can cause people around them to become very weak and fall ill. You can get an extreme cold, and this could be an attack from a spirit or a person who will have that in their court. Uh, Also, if you suddenly begin to have nosebleeds, this can be that the vampire, that the that the person with this spirit, uh, just shadowed you, and it could be a cause of, bleedings in the body, like bleeding. If you have a horrible menstrual cycle, if you start bleeding from your nose, okay. So then there's the hierarchy, which hierarchy uh, does not overlap the supreme God. Okay, so the supreme God, there's a supreme God in Obeah, and then there's witness deities, which a witness deity is a deity that is witnessing all of the physical universe, creations, and manages or embodies various spiritual and metaphysical principles. Then there's the angels, which attend Supreme God, and they can angels can have divine intervention on situations, which you always hear of divine intervention, intervening. If you're in a weak moment. And then there's the first cosmic deities, which manage, create, or embody specific laws of nature. Then we have the elemental deities, also created at the same time as the cosmic deities, which manage and embody all elementals and interactions between them. Earth-specific forces, planetary forces, life guardians, animal spirits would fall under this category of Earth-specific forces, and so would the ancestors and the dead. Um, and then their attendants, Earth-specific attendants, would be spirits of light, spirits of darkness. Okay, what that means is uh, angels, you know, and then spirits of darkness, demons, spirit beings who reside on earth and may be working in interest of sustaining life or destroying it. Um, and then we have the alter dimensionals, which would be gardener beings, which are fairies, gnomes, and then predatory beings, which would be obviously like vampires. And then there's the personas, which personas are people who are here that can work within the third dimension, or it can be spirits within. Whenever you hear the word personas, it's speaking to whatever's inside the third dimension. Whether it's predatory beings, whether it's the gardener beings, okay? So Obeah. Oh, and then some like you wouldn't say in Obeah like, oh, I'm gonna go call my tia or padrino or madrina. Like you're gonna say, I'm gonna go speak to the Obeah man and or Obeah woman. You know, all this talk about Jamaica. Um, and this is as much explaining as I can possibly give on this subject. Like, um, when would Obeah be used? Like you can be just a you there's also Obeah is not practiced sometimes like you'll have your temples within Santeria, Candomblé, Umbanda, Kimbanda, Macumba, whatever, Santeria. But in Obeah, uh it's solitary or normally with a few people. It's not like there's gonna be a temple where there's a whole bunch of people invited for certain ceremonies. That could happen, but Obeah is more of a solitary thing, solitary practice, or with a few individuals. So, what more can I say? Roots. Like that's, you know, basically you can get someone to do anything you want in Obeah, and those are the main deities that I just explained to you guys. Of course, every ritual and everything that you want has a price, like, and something that you need to do. Um, and of course, the spirits within Obeah require certain, just like everything. Um, and so, but that's Obeah. I just wanted to make a little video on my channel about Obeah because I don't see a lot of information about Obeah, honestly, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it either. But it's something that's done, and it's Caribbean, and uh, it's very powerful, just like everything, So this is my little, and then a lot of their deities they have like within the person working with Obeah, like they'll have the like issues and stuff, and they normally will be given, they have a room, normally an Obeah room where you're working the Obeah out of. Um, so tying, binding Obeah. Um, and I know everyone's been talking about, you know, Kanika Jenkins and stuff, and whatever happened, happened, and whoever did it, because I don't know. And I was thinking of consulting the spirits. Like, I know everyone's been doing tarot card readings on this subject also. Um, so I haven't performed a tarot card reading on her. All I can pick up from her is that she is very angry. And obviously, I don't know how much I trust her family in the first place either, because her family looks so sketchy. And so everything that every time I see their family come on, I'm like, do I believe anything that they are saying? Because, like, or did they just want to murder their own family member? Like, I don't know, because they look sketchy. And so my opinion, is that don't trust the family and don't trust anything that's being spoken, or the friends. I don't trust the friends either. The friends look like I don't know. Um, but obviously the truth always comes out, and the truth will come out on that situation. What I can say from that situation happening is that I had a vision of an old woman come to me, and she said she started screaming, "Cleveland, Cleveland! Ohio, Cleveland!" And I was like, What's gonna happen in Cleveland?" And and then I also, on top of everything, I woke up and I wasn't able to finish uh my little premonition. All I can say is that I don't trust the mayor either. I don't trust the mayor. I don't trust anything that's going on there. Obviously, a lot of like black people have been making the video like about organ harvesting in Chicago and everything that goes down in Chicago, and they have a lot of organ harvesting. And apparently, Kanika Jenkins was, to be harvested for her organs. That could be true too. I know that organ harvesting happens. I know it, and I can imagine why it's happening. But America is America, and and those places are in America. All I can say is, I have a feeling that something horrible will happen soon in those parts of the world. You know, in regards to like maybe a massacre, also like what just happened at the concert, or it could be maybe something that's gonna go down where a mass is affected. I don't know what's gonna happen, but obviously, already in the first place, there's a lot of bad things going on over there. Um, so I'm not shunning her family either. I'm just saying I don't know if I trust them, because I haven't sat down with them in front of me to be able to believe anything that they're saying. But from when they come and they have their moments on camera, it's just very like, I don't know. And so, I can feel the energy and the spirits all around. I feel like I can feel Puerto Rico and fucking the Caribbean's impact all the way here in Miami, and I'm like miles away. But it's just like, also those natural catastrophes, like, you know, from the ashes, rebuilt. Like, obviously, things will have to be made new, and that's all. Like, it'll get fixed. It's only a matter of time. And it's only a matter of time before everyone gets their power and stuff back in Puerto Rico. So I hope everyone's okay and safe. Like, I want to know on this rant, because now I'm going to go on a tangent. Everyone needs to check out Obeah's new album that was just released on the 29th. None of the music's being released to YouTube, obviously, and they are not in America, like, whereas an American will like put all their music public, but they're in the UK, so their like their perception and their like what they're doing is like a little different than here in America. You can't hear the music yet, and I even thought to myself, eBay, get on YouTube, upload your music, fuck, but it's not there. Um, so I really want to see them, and I really would like to go to France. Like I already know that most the concerts are sold out for 3 months because I just checked it out. So, but anyways, I wouldn't want to be in the crowd. Why can't I be invited backstage? Why can't I be invited to sit in a nicer area than the crowd? Right? I wouldn't want to be in that crowd. No, ill, but I would like to be in a little private area watching eBay and then go backstage where hopefully Adele doesn't turn into a reptilian. I don't know. But it looks like Adele isn't giving any more concerts, or is she just so full of shit? Um, she probably is gonna do something. I don't know. Um, I have my eye on her too sometimes. Um, my fixated eye here. Anyways, I hope I don't get sick now. No, I'm just kidding. Obeah, Jamaica. Um, there's a great porridge made from green plantains that's Jamaican. Uh, and if you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, then you don't know how to make it and you never had it. But talking about Obeah makes me want green plantain porridge. Um, because I've been like looking at non-stop photos of Jamaica and stuff. But I'll be uploading some visuals for this conversation too. Um, and Obeah has really cool ways of their method of divination uses really cool imagery also. Just like in Palo Mayombe, like the Patimbembas, they're really pretty. Like it's somewhat similar, same thing. But I'll show you guys if you're watching my channel. Uh, no, I don't practice Obeah because the Obeah man hasn't invited me over to see what he's doing so I can just learn, but I don't know how to do Obeah. But I would like to learn how to do Obeah. And so maybe one day I will be invited and record a session of how Obeah is performed, just like I want to record a session of how all these other things. But so if you're on my channel, that's why maybe my channel is gonna be under this category of religious things. So get off it if you don't want to watch it. Um, and I did my hair. My hair's done. Yeah. So everyone have a good week. It's Monday, so salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Like I don't know. What else to say other than all this horrible things that have been going around? I pray for everyone and I hope everyone's okay and bye.